the day I was conceived?
Yeah. I do. You were born in a Volkswagen, conceived in a Volkswagen Beetle. Your mama had her foot on the rearview mirror. That's dope shit. Real kinky shit.
What's good? It's your girl T, aka the Pride Prince, and all the other AKAs. How you doing? Now I'm just playing. Today we're gonna be eating, doing a mukbang, and having a conversation with my father here. Say something.
Something. See how good I did that? Nobody else can say something that well.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, well, okay, let's get into the video.
All right, hit it.
So, Lord, the first question is, what's the weirdest dream you ever had?
I had just got finished watching the Olympics, and I was watching the diving competition, and in the middle of that, in the dream, I thought I was actually in the diving competition going for the gold, and I jumped out the diving board. So in the dream, when I got under the water, I couldn't get out for some reason. Like, you know how you're supposed to do, it's a little dolphin dive, so you do a low splash. So I had never really realized that it take a lot of technique to do that. So when I tried to do it, I was unable to, but I stayed stuck up under the water and I couldn't get out. So when I woke up, I was like, like that.
Okay. What's one of your most fun childhood memories that you have?
He
fucking that shit up.
It'll be a Christmas. I was about 7 or 8 years old. I didn't think I was getting anything for Christmas, because there wasn't nothing up under the Christmas tree. Back then, parents used to just stage the Christmas tree the night of. Is it okay? How old are your listeners? Because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They old enough? All right, cool. I don't want to spill about Santa Claus because they don't know. Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back then, parents would stage the Christmas tree the night of. So as soon as you go to sleep, they come in and put all the presents out. So when you wake up, you like, dang, Santa Claus came. And this particular year, I was going to all my friends' house. My family was doing it. My mom was doing it, and my dad was doing it. But not all the other kids. So when I go over to their house, I see all their presents up under the tree. But I ain't had none up under mine. So I was like, dang, man, this is screwed up. I know I had been bad that year, but dang, I ain't know it was like that. So I was like, all right, Santa. Or, you know, I thought Santa might have came earlier. They had a different Santa. Then, you know, my Santa delivered late. I didn't know. Anyway. So.
Eat, ugly.
Crazy presents up under the tree. Loaded. It was lit. Opened up all the presents. Finished that. I was like, yeah, cool. My dad said, all right. Sun came up all the way, got a little warmer. He was like, let's go outside. All right. I want to stay in the house and play with my toys. We went outside. I had a go-kart. Yo! Tore up the block. It was over with. That's my favorite gift. Left everything alone. You know how they say they just play with the box. They should have left all that stuff alone. Just got me that one gift. I ain't playing with nothing else for the rest of the year.
That's the story when you said the police came?
No, that was a different story. That's one I had already had. Yeah, somebody called the police on me while I was on my go-kart. Kid riding up and down one street. I ain't going nowhere else. Neighbors called. Haters. It was haters back in then. It was even haters back then in the 80s.
What is an act you consider unforgivable?
Don't touch. I mean, if you harm one of my family members, I'm at you till I'm in the dirt. When I see you, it's on sight. Ain't no taking it back. Forever and ever.
When was a time you felt the most proud?
I got 3 separate moments, and they all deal with my daughters. and Lil Man, too. I was real proud of Lil Man. Still am. Not was, but still am. Still proud of all.
Graduated?
I'm proud of all y'all. No, that graduation from the Navy, that was a lit moment for me. Your mama don't know how to take them kind of moments. She be so lame. But anyway, that was a lit moment for me. I mean, because I watched them grow up. I watched all y'all grow up, you know, with the exception of Trent, you know, to that degree, but still. Yeah. I got 4 separate proud moments dealing with all that, you know, graduation from high school. You know, you be lit sending me stuff from college. You know, I be feeling like that's all me. Yeah.
Okay. What's something you wish people knew about you?
I wish they knew not to take my kindness for weakness. Or how. I don't know. Being a man in the United States, well, a black man in the United States, there are certain things we have to worry about stepping outside the door. We got a likely percentage higher than other other races that we have to either be ready for, to either remove ourselves, disengage. You know, that's why you got to watch the company you keep when you're going out too. So it's certain things that, you know, I wish the world knew how we felt sometimes going out into the world, and how I mean, sometimes you live in a sense of complacency, but there's always dread and worry. You live in the matrix and think everything is, you know, gummy bears and goddamn rainbows, but it ain't. And I wish the world knew that as a whole about every black man, not just myself, so they could, you know, kind of be placed in the situation so they could understand. That's all.
This is a goofy question.
Hit me with it.
Do you remember the day I was conceived?
Yeah. I do. You were born in a conceived in a Volkswagen Beetle. Your mama had her foot on the rearview mirror. Dope shit. Real kinky shit.
Said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
We didn't have no tent. Excuse me, it was a Volkswagen Passat. We didn't have no tent, but everything was foggy, so we was like, cool. Your mama was weird then. Not no more though. Anyway, what's up? What's next?
Have you ever had a crush on one of your teachers when you were younger?
Hell yeah. Me and Williams to get it.
Mama gonna get you.
You said when I was younger. You didn't say nothing about now. I ain't got no teacher now. Except your mama.
Do you have any regrets, and if so, what are they?
Every time I thought I had a regret, it actually taught me something for the next phase of my life that I didn't know about it. So anytime I had a regret, it was like, dang, it was just in the moment. I've only had regrets in the moment. And then, you know that, like,
you live, you learn.
Yeah. This too shall pass. So when it passed, it was like, yeah, I got through that. That wasn't nothing. Everything that I thought would bring me down was my downfall, a complete ruin for me. just built me up for the next stage. And whatever lesson that was that I took from that, what I thought was regret, you know. But I mean, it's shit in a fantasy world, yeah. Cause I could have did this. I wish I had did that. I wish I had did that. But then my life wouldn't have turned out the way it is. And it's the way it is because it's, it's the design. Yeah, I took some lefts when I might should have went right. But I can always make a U-turn. So if I had the attitude that I could never do that again, then yeah, I mean, like, I ain't never been in the sport, so it ain't never been like, dang, I regret not trying out for basketball. I ain't studying that shit. Never was. I don't like to sweat. I don't like balls. I cut my own. And getting sweaty around balls just don't, hell no. I mean, I like the act of, the physical act of throwing a football and, just playing around, but getting sweaty, fucking around with balls, hell no. Not mine. Next.
Lord. What's your best pickup line you use?
Don't let your future walk away from you. But no, for real talk. No, I'm just joking. Real talk. I ain't had no pickup line. I was blessed. I'm blessed.
What's your look?
Hell yeah. Look at you. You welcome.
No.
What can I say? Go ahead.
But what did you say? Like, how did you approach?
I did.
They approached you?
You heard?
Mama approached you?
Did they tell you about me?
No.
Google me. I'm Googleable.
So mama approached you?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, there was no need for a pickup line. I mean, I had a personality, conversation rules the nation. I know how to talk to women. I was always respectable. My mama taught me that. I was respectable as a young man. I'm respectable as an older man. And it's just not necessary. Lines ain't necessary.
Okay, what?
How did
you approach a woman?
Excuse me?
Yes. After that, what'd you say? Say my name, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Pardon my stare. I think you're attractive. I like to get to know if the inside is as good as the outside. But it wasn't necessary. That's one I could say popping off the top of my head right now while we're doing this interview. But no, it wasn't never necessary. Lines weren't necessary.
What's one thing that you want me to do that I haven't done yet?
Nothing.
I think you want me to experience.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean.
Your life the way you want it. Life the way you want it. I've been, everybody tells you what you should do, what you should be, where you should go, how you should walk, how you should talk. Ain't nobody got time for all that, man. Just live your life. I want you to live your life without any fear or any regret. That's all. Continue doing what you're doing. As long as you're happy, I'm cool. That's it.
Who was your celebrity crush as a kid?
Apollonia, Vanity, Sheila E. I don't know, that dude Prince. Woo. Prince had everything I wanted. Yeah. Apollonia, Vanity, Sheila E.
You used to have magazines.
Nope. Just catch them on TV when I could.
What do you feel most guilty about?
I half-assed a lot of shit. Still half-assing a lot of shit. Not performing and doing to the best of my ability. I was able to half-ass a lot of shit, still able to half-ass a lot of shit. I would say performing to the best of my ability throughout life. To the very best of my ability. I always do perform, show. That's even, dealing with you. I could have did more to spend more time. I could have, I'm tracing a check. I could have been a better version of myself. That would probably be my best regret too. Yeah. But if I had poured into you as much as I should have, maybe you wouldn't have. I mean, but that's a 50-50 toss-up. Maybe you, and I can tell myself that, as I guess a sense of what is it, self-soothing. But maybe you wouldn't be as strong as you are and as strong-willed as you are if I, But I don't know. I mean, you turned out how you are, perfect. Other than your attitude, but anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that part.
Nobody got no attitude.
Is that question on there?
Ain't nobody got no attitude. Don't be raising your pinky like you sipping tea.
I am. That's a I don't know. I can't. Let me see. I'll try. It feels weird. What else you got?
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Shit, I'm fucking Mary Poppins. I'm practically perfect in every way. At least that's what I tell myself. I need to learn from my mistakes a little faster. Not mistakes, but I have. I have a bad habit of getting off track. So if I could change something about myself, it would probably be staying on track. Completing whatever it was that I was gonna complete to the end of it. See it through to the very end, and then go to the next thing. But
like my nightstand.
Yeah. No, I'm working on that. I was just telling your mom today I need to go to Ace Hardware so I could look at a sander. She'll vouch for me. Yeah. Procrastination. I want to change that about myself. I'm still, no matter how old you, well, I mean, I'm a work in progress, and I realize, my cup is not full. It stays empty. I don't know, some of the juice might slosh out, whatever the case may be. But if I was full and complete, which I'm not, I wouldn't be able to pour into myself or somebody else pour into me the knowledge that I need to move on to the next step. So, I mean, and I asked your mama to help me with that kind of stuff today. If you see me, waning and slipping in those particular areas, help you boy out. And I'm stubborn, and it's just trial and error. So I'm just, I'm still trying, I'm still learning, I'm still, like, even at my age right now, where I feel like I'm grown and supposed to know it all, I don't. And I'm still, figuring out things and trying to figure out a way to do it and the proper way to do it. And the way I've been doing it all my life, it ain't been horrible, but it could have been better. So I can cook.
What made you become a DJ?
Love music. And I love music so much till I hear stuff in it that should be, I hear nuances in music that the normal ear wouldn't hear. I was in the band, trained to do it, trained to hear it, love it. And one day I got with a dude named DJ Hurricane, and me and Hurricane, it was before that, but I had a love of music. Anyway, me and Hurricane was DJ Hurricane, and he kind of took me under his wing and taught me the ropes, and taught me how to express the stuff that I was hearing in my head, taught me how to get it out. And I was just doing it for a hobby, having a good time with it because I love music. So having that love of music, I was just gonna do it anyway, regardless, before I became a DJ. And I was just spinning music with my people, and they were like, "Well, why don't you get out here and do this?" Getting better and getting better and getting better and getting better, and it just snowballed into something else.
So would you say like that's your mentor, or like do you have a mentor? You say
For
someone.
DJing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurricane. DJ Hurricane, Maurice Champion. Yeah. Be the first person to ever let me touch a board, teach me how to work it, taught me what to do. Then I learned my own skill set from there. I mean, well, not skill set, because a DJ in its core and roots is all the same. Your style of DJing is what makes you you. How you do it, when you do it, the timing you use for it, the instrumentals you use, the songs that you use, the parts that you cut in, the parts that you cut out. So yes, in the fundamental blocks of DJing, it's all the same. What makes you you as a DJ is your style.
Who would you say the best female and male DJ is in Atlanta?
I don't know the best female. The best male DJ in Atlanta, for me, truly versed all the way around, would probably be DJ Popo. I don't even know if he in Atlanta. He's been traveling so much, but DJ Popo, I really, really rock with that dude. As far as now, DJs take on different things. Like my favorite DJ is Jazzy Jeff, but Scratch Basti is, I was gonna call him Basti, my bad. Scratch is he dope, but out of Atlanta, Popo. As far as I don't even know if he out of Atlanta. He's Guyanese, if I'm not mistaken. Real cool cat. I don't know if he's out of Atlanta, but the best DJ that I know in Atlanta that I would call to learn from, I'm still learning as a DJ right to this day, is Popo. P-O-P-O.
If you can remember, what's the best party that you've been to?
What's wrong with my memory?
Nothing.
Why you saying?
I mean,
you taking shots. I need to know what happened. Oh, okay.
The best party you ever been to, and what happened?
Oddly enough, was it best party? I saw my crush at a party. No, wasn't my crush at the time. I saw a chick at a party. Asked her to dance. At the dance, it was the first and only dance I did the whole night. First and only one. For the remainder, for the whole party, I hugged the wall. Nothing going on. Boring. Bored wallflower dude. When
it was like the dude from the wood.
Yeah. Went out and asked the girl for the dance. She said yes. We out there slow grind in one song. Left. We all break out from the party, me and the fellas. She get my number, I get her number. We leaving, get into some mischievous shit. Ended up running from the police. Some of the dudes got caught. We got away. Crew got away. The other crew, they ain't get away. We got away. Made it back to the house. Your grandmother was super, where are you? Under thumb type. I jumped in the window, got into bed, took off my shoes real quiet, closed my eyes. I don't even think I snuck out. I just think I was supposed to be in at a certain time. I jumped in the window, got up under the covers, and as soon as I laid my head down, the light came on, beep, and the door came open. And I was like, and she closed the door with me back out, and I was like, yes. Yeah, that shit was lit.
I thought you was gonna say light came on, she closed the door and then popped back in talking about something. I know you ain't sleep.
It was lit. It was like safe at the World Series. Like the game is tied, you run a score, you make it across the plate, it's safe. And I was like, I was like the light was hurting my eyes, playing. God. She closed the door. I was like, went to sleep. Called a girl that day. She was my girlfriend. Hell yeah. Pipper.
You want to go back to college?
Hell no. Too old for that shit.
No, never too old for college.
Well, I mean, what, ICDC? Like that? I mean, online? With Romeo, no?
Sure.
Yeah, I can go online. Yeah, I do online. I just don't want to go back to campus. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about joining the service?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
They ain't got no short set. They had a short set, I'd go, but they always in long pants and long shirts. I'm straight.
Oh
I was gonna be a Muslim, but they ain't got no short set.
Oh my God, Dad. Why did you decide to give up meat?
Yeah. I was working at a club. Jesus. I was working at a club and I was eating Meat Lovers pizzas every single day because that was the only thing that delivered over that way. I was in this club from sun up to sundown. Working. And customer came out and said, you couldn't do that if you tried. You couldn't stop eating meat if you tried, huh? I was like, yeah, no problem. I can give up anytime if I want to. He said, I bet you can't. I said, well, we been. I'll take it. If I'm in control of me, I'll win the bet every time. And I won't turn it down. If it's got something to do with me and my skill set or something I can or can't do, yeah, let go. I took the bet. And then I decided, after I took the bet, I went back to eating meat. And then I was like, I didn't need it. It was fine after that. I didn't get sick or nothing. I just stopped. Then I fell back off the wagon around Thanksgiving. And then it was out. Don't eat meat after that.
I was watching this video and this lady described it. She was like, what happens when you burn, like when we get burned and stuff in our skin. And then she was like, yeah, it's blisters and pus and stuff like that. And she was like, when you cook meat, what happens? And she's like, the juices. She was like, yeah.
Ooh. I love steak too. And chicken. Yeah. It's hard sometimes. Like I'm learning to give up stuff. You know, I'm a big sweet head. You know what I'm saying? I got a massive sweet tooth. That joke is gold, but it's platinum. It's got diamonds on it. Sweet tooth crazy. From the finest of jewelers. Got this. I'm talking about I got this motherfucker from K Jewelers. I got a friend in the diamond business on my teeth. That's how bad my sweet tooth is. And I'm learning to cut back from that. It's hard. Meat was easier than sugar. Sugar is a drug. I'm sure of it.
I started eating more sweets too, but I heard when you do that, that means your gut is not healthy. So I started trying to eat more fruit to replace the sweets because you know fruit is sweet, but it's still hard because it's not the same type of sweet, but it is sweet.
I'll be like, put that shit in my veins. What that is? That
The
Dixie Crystal,
heroin.
Dixie Crystal, give it to me. Tie me off. I need that. But that shit is hard. It is hard. It was easier to give up meat than it was sugar. It still is. Right now I'm in a battle. Y'all pray for me. I'm in a battle. I would go to AA, but that's for quitters, and I'm no quitter.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
You're
it's
supposed
rough.
to be a quitter.
Why?
Quit the meat and quit
I quit the meat. The meat's
sweets.
gone. I'm trying. You calling me, man?
What did we say?
Hmm?
What did we say?
Eat me?
You kind of funny, man.
You heard? I'm Googleable. Worth a Google. What's up? What else? What's next?
What made you get rid of your eyebrow piercing?
I went corporate, and they didn't allow it. And I would take it out and put it in every day. Take it out. I would take it out for work and put it back in. Take it out for work, put it back in. And one day I took it out and couldn't get it back in. I was like, shit, son of a bitch. Yeah,
Your tongue piercing.
What about it?
Why you did that?
Me and your mama got them together.
Different answer this time.
You want a different answer?
No. I'm just saying.
Oh, you asked me about the eyebrow last. This is a new question. Go ahead.
Where'd
I
you
forgot.
get
Your mama was right. I was wrong. I had forgot.
Where'd you get your nose pierced?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I already got 2 holes in it.
That's your answer?
Yes. Final answer.
Other than that,
Other than that, I don't want a third.
the board says,
Final answer.
Survey says.
You didn't ask 100 people though.
Survey says.
Ask me 100 times and then do that. Ask me 100 times.
Why won't you get your nose pierced times 100?
Because I already got 2 holes in it. I don't want a third. Final answer.
You've been blind all your life.
Mm-mm.
When?
I didn't know I was blind until I tried to see.
When did you get your first pair of glasses? Go.
When I went to college for the first time.
It took you that long?
Yep. That's why I said I didn't know I couldn't see until I went to college. I went to college, and you know, in regular high school classrooms, the board like right there. I could see that far. When I was in college, it was like these big auditorium seats, and shit was all the way down there. And I was like, I can't see shit. I don't know what the hell's going on in here. What class is this? Shit looking
Not
like
what class is this?
shit looking like algebra on the board, and I'm in history. What is this?
Lord.
Call my mama, I can't see. I need some glasses. Went to some place at the mall, got some glasses, big goofy looking glasses. I can see. And when the first time I've been driving around all this time, hardly being able to see. Put them on. It was a brand new world. I could see. And then like it was like going from like 3G to 4G. You know how when your phone on 4G now, even though we on 5G, and you like 4G was not this slow. It was like my vision was like that. It was like when I take my glasses off, I was like, my vision wasn't this bad before. Now it's just horrible. But yeah.
I be doing that sometimes. I get
But
my
I don't
glasses.
need these. I don't need these now.
I know. Sometimes I get my glasses and I do like this and try to look at them.
Yeah. You're like, what? Yeah. I've been there. I play it all like that ain't even important. If I can't see something, I play like it's not important.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, it's got poison in it. I don't care. I can't see it. I don't want to eat that no way. Tastes
I
good.
don't want to eat that no way. What was like the place to be growing up? Like we had like
Everywhere I was.
anyway, we had
Like
like
Lisa.
going to Skate Zone. That was the place to be, and then going to AMC was the place to be. Going to South Lake was the place to be. So what? Stop.
I'm just saying, that place is alright. Let's see, ATL Live, Frozen. I mean, young. How old you talking about?
Like middle school through high school.
Oh yeah, middle. Shoot.
FBK. Screaming Wheels.
We was everywhere. Screaming Wheels, Skate Town when it was lit. Everything used to be lit. Chocolate City when it was lit. Let's see.
That's not a strip club.
Chocolate City? No.
Yes, what is Chocolate City?
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Screaming Wheels turned into Chocolate City. You're right. No, it wasn't a strip club, though. But, hold on, my bad. That's delete that. Delete that part. Shoot, I was going to strip clubs in high school. Me and my partner Dale, Face, watch this. Me and Face was going Dale Dixon. Yeah, we was going. We was going to strip clubs.
Why you think?
I was just thinking about it because he was like, what was it? Wherever we were, we started the party. No spot that we went to. Everywhere we went, that's what it was. You know, we gonna do the same thing. We had, stop by the liquor store, get some liquor, do whatever.
So you were drinking underage?
Yeah. Drinking overage too. Yeah. What else?
You ever had the grill? Have you ever had like the style of like with the grills and like the big chains?
No.
Is there ever a time
I
you dressed like that?
I had the wide herringbone, but it was player. We was players, and my grill consisted of just 2 fangs at the time. That was my grill. I had 2 fangs.
You had the whole.
Nah, my grill was 2 fangs. That's Florida. That deep with the gold set.
I like them though.
Yeah. I mean, I had the gold gaps, and I had gold fangs, but never the full set. Yeah, I kept my 32s white, no precious metal. Something that can slide in, slide out, never permanent.
My last question is, growing up, what was your go-to outfit?
Polos, jeans, and some white shoe, whether it be Air Force Ones or a white pair of Reeboks. But back then, when I was growing up, it was all about being a player and being smooth and just cold. It wasn't no, I don't know. My go-to outfit was simple and clean. It was a polo, button-up polo, or a regular polo shirt, some jeans, and some crisp white shoes. Air Force Ones, classic Reeboks, even some K-Swiss, some Tretorns. But no matter what I had on, the color of my shirt, if it was 2 or 3 colors in my shirt, I had on 2 or 3 different pairs of socks that was the same color.
That sound like Mr. Brown socks.
No, not like that. Not pulled up. I mean, I always wore jeans, but when I sat down, like the major color that was in the shirt, that was on the socks. And if I sat down and the leg lifted up, you could see the other colors. But yeah, the shirt, my shirt matched my socks back when, and I used to kill these, I guess the Bill Cosby sweaters, used to kill them. And every time I had on the sweater, the socks would match the same color as the sweater. That was the rule. I mean, when we were really sliding, everybody was wearing penny loafers, but we put dimes in ours, stuff like that, because that was during that, the early 80s Michael Jackson phase, to keep it with the slacks and the penny loafers. And the I guess we were wearing, like, back then, I don't know when the switch happened, but Azad and Lacoste looked the same. So the alligator, the shirt was an Azad. It said Azad Lacoste, and it had the alligator on it. And then I guess they switched from Azad being this less or inferior brand, and Lacoste became the big go-to brand. But back then we would call them Azads, and they had the alligator on them. And oh shoot,
You wore FUBU.
yeah, I did. I had some FUBU. Oh, members only jackets. The different color member only jacket. bust them down. I did that. Then I done that. Mm-hmm. With a pair of East Bays? Shit. I rock that right now. Still clean. Yo.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Holla at your boy. What page? What's the name of the page?
Pariah Teens.
Yeah, Pariah Tings. Pariah Tings. Pariah Tings. What is he?
Yes.
With the Z. Say it correctly. Bye-bye. We gone?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Do all that. Hit that button.
We'll see you next
Bing, bing,
time.
bing, 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 bing. Later.